evening, everybody. If we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Happy New Year, everybody. I have two checks, one for Matthew Bergeron for $37.40 and one for Charles Fitzgerald for $1,338.07.
Everybody ready? Kip Kaiser, 834.31. Thomas S. is 64.64. Katie Benzick Ahern is 720.31. Jeff Collins, 811.31. Wayne Robinson, 1,056.84. Jillian Benedict, 635.64. Karen Clement, 1,326.18. Heather Haggett, 359.37. Tamara Peak, 797.98. Daphne Watts is 843.96. Katie Coppola is 114.89. Shayla Gherkin is 27.87. Mary Lyons Hall is 171.18. Janice Weirs is 838.28. Kiki Downs-Wall 729.65. Marley Beltry is 73.88. Joyce Keeble is 562.19. Kendra Brackett is 581.29. Justin Doty is 899.02. Robert Gagan is 206.37. Matt Kelly is 952.30. James Salfa is 1,067.18. Christopher Spitaleri is 1,012.75. John Ventura is 1,499.50. Josh Turner is 195.44. Jeremy Worcester is 149.89. Jared Wright Ward is 1,375.75. Andrew Gray is 652.57. 672.57. Joseph Bird is 1,110.43. John Bryant is 679.15. Keith Culligan is 623.36. Alexander Hall is 197.77. Julie Labonte is 205.91. Barry Levine is 276.12. Nathan Richard is 888.33. Katrina Tennant is 708.65. Jack Tremblay is 714.33. Temple Whitby is 745.22. Gabrielle Burgess Labonte is $19.40. Eli Corson is $464.47. Edwin Decatur is $586.21. Jason Grant is $651.41. John Isabel is $647.89. George Calloway is $87.73. Erica Kenyon is $403 even. William Ken is $267.75. Peter King is $88.31. Connor McCollum is $221.64. Aaron Mitchell is $370.45. Benjamin Roche is $288.14. Julie Tennant is $41.56.
Total direct deposit, $28,867.77.
Combined total of $30,243.24. We had 14 hours overtime in the PD, 4.5 in the fire department, and none in the highway department.
CJBB Trucking is $4,654. Center for Occupational Health is $200 even. Comcast is $371.74. East Coast Emergency Outfitters is $270.99. E&J Auto Parts is $104.41. Eversource is $619.90. Charles Fitzgerald.
Hold up. All right.
Charles Fitzgerald is $41.95. Formax is $40 even. Hartman Oil and Propane is $3,037.20. Hartman Enterprises is $112. Health Trust Inc. is $38,848.97. Impact Fire Services is $2,556.27. Joseph DeFonte's company is $180.80. Katrina Tennant,
That's
$186.19.
Yep, hold up, I got them stuck together. Okay. The font is 180.80. All right,
Katrina Tennant is $186.19.
okay,
Joyce Kegel is $20.63.
okay,
Liberty International Trucks is $150.71. James Michaud, Century Consulting is $2,000 even. Morton Salt is $4,827.25. Heather Worski is $1,107.45. New Hampshire Municipal Bond is $24,833.50. Pine State Elevator Company is $463.50. State of New Hampshire Department of Labor is $200 even. State of New Hampshire Department of Transportation is $2,625.27. Stratum Tire is $25. Suburban Propane is $316.81. Julia Tennant is $41.95. Town of Hillsborough is $300 even. UniFirst Corporation is $63.40. Valak is $211.45. WM Corporate Services, $6,753.51. WB Mason is $229.45.
Total is $95,394.30.
We had 2 ACH payments, one to Swayze for $181,000, the other to the co-op for $585,237.
I just need a record check.
Check. Yeah.
Thanks.
Chief? When Joyce leaves, you can have her seat.
Okay.
You're on deck.
Oh, you just said you called chief.
Yeah,
I did.
I did. When Joyce leaves, you can sit in her seat.
Otherwise, it's going to be really interesting.
I might not be teaching myself.
That's your class.
Thanks, Joyce.
Thank
Joyce.
you.
Thank you.
Always entertaining, guys. Girls. Good night, Joyce. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
So by recommendation of the chief, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Robert Gagnon as a full-time police officer.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I need a motion to enter in an employment contract with Robert Gagnon.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? And then Bob, when you get it, flip the page. And that being said, you can swear him in.
Just a couple of things, folks, for those of you who don't know Bob, he's been with us since 2019, in his 4th year, April. He's been with us as a part-timer that whole time. Bob was with the family business for 30-plus years before he decided to come to us full-time. And I know that was a big decision for he and his family to make, and we're very, very happy that he made this decision. I've been kind of moving Bob along since I got here. Subliminal messages for us to Don might say, all right, when you come full-time. So we're very, very pleased to have him among our ranks as a full-time officer, and look forward to many, many, many years. So without further ado, I'll have you get sworn in by.
What did I tell you about holding hands? Okay, well, raise it.
I, Robert Gagnon,
I, Robert Gagnon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as a full-time officer of the Brentwood Police Department,
as a full-time officer of the Brentwood Police Department,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws
of the Constitution and laws
of
of
the state of New Hampshire,
the state of New Hampshire.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Folks, we've got his wife that's going to
Photo
put
time.
this full-time badge on him. I drive right through the hall.
Is it one of the new ones?
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, pressure.
He's the first one with the bling?
Yes, he is.
I faked it.
Perfect.
Nicely done.
If I could just indulge you folks, I just want to get a group picture with the guys. And Kendra, please.
Oh, I guess we're taking photos. All right.
Yes, I got it, yes. Nobody's saying. Who are we looking at?
Did you get it?
I think so.
We're all holding our breath.
Suck it in.
Thank you all folks for indulging. I appreciate it.
Do you want to do a family?
We'll do
Family
families.
picture? Yeah.
Do you want to do stand up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Justin's on it. Cute.
Adorable. Thank everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. All have a good night.
Thank you.
Action shot.
Just trying to put your hair on.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much.
Just want to leave.
Excitement.
2-minute timer.
Yes, I'll see you.
All right, I will take a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Consent agenda included public minutes from 12:20, the recreation manifest, the treasurer's report, and building permits. Do you have any other documents besides what we did?
No.
Russ, do you have anything?
Let's see. It's not, nothing going on the last week.
John?
Health officer, been busy. Removed one restriction on an occupancy permit, so that's good to go. On 327? 427 Middle Road. And then we tagged 2 trailers that people were living in that didn't have permits for. So those are being worked on. My understanding is one of the trailers has been removed, and the other one, they said it would be removed at the beginning of January, so we got to watch and see what happens with that. I know there was an email that came across from Andy from the rec department. There was an issue where they rented the BRC to the Exeter hockey team, I think it was, or boosters or something like that. But they didn't, when we lost power, and the power came back on, they didn't light the pilots for the stoves, so they didn't have access to the stoves, and they had a bunch of people showing up to cook food. So he's made a recommendation, I think it's from the from the rec department. They wanted to refund their money to them because they didn't cook the food that they had, so they were running around trying to get food for all these boosters that were having a celebration at the party. So that was the only other thing that I was aware of. Andy CC'd me on the email.
So there's a letter here from, there's multiple copies.
There's multiple copies. Have them do the thing.
And I've already seen this one.
So for the record, it says to Select Board in reference to the BRC rental of 12/22. Mary Ann Casey had requested she receive a $150 refund on top of the $100 deposit due for the oven not working during her rental. After speaking with Kip Kaiser and looking into the situation, I would like to recommend that the Select Board grant Mary Ann's request. Before I left for vacation, the oven and stovetop was working. Based on my conversation with Kip, we both believe that due to loss of power, the oven and plywood were never relit and the generator was using much of what the gas was left for gas. Upon finding this out, Kip and Suburban came out and filled the tank, and the rec department will also be discussing at the next meeting to replace the stove with 2 electric ovens so this doesn't happen in the future. Please let me know if there's any questions. Thank you for your consideration in refunding Mary Ann Casey.
So I'll make a motion to refund the money because they couldn't
Sounds
meet the
reasonable.
services that they rented it for.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Is relighting of the pilots assigned to someone?
So the commercial ovens that probably should have really never been put into that
Sure.
building because it doesn't get used enough.
Right.
And the problem is I know when I talked to Kip, he had actually gotten a call because the smell of gas was so big.
I
in there.
bet.
So it was literally, so once the generators went back off and the power came on,
Right.
it probably was just pushing the gas into the building because there's nothing lighting.
Right, so until we replace them, it seems like we need a safety plan for that.
Yeah, because
It's gotta
Kip
be
went
on
over there and he had to
somebody's-
call the fire department over there. They had to go in before you can light the pilot.
Right.
You gotta make sure it's ventilated properly and they test it to make sure.
Because this must have happened before when we lost power.
Yeah, I think it
It's
probably
often-
has.
We get
Is it,
complaints a
so
lot of the small
who's,
gas.
is it somebody, is there like a post-power loss safety plan that would include someone addressing this?
So I spoke with Chief Ventura today to ask if in the future, when we have these power glitches, if we can ask the duty officer when they're doing their building checks,
Right.
if they can do a walkthrough of the BRC and check to see if
Perfect.
it's to shut off the gas and make sure that
Perfect.
that's an issue.
Thanks.
And then they can contact fire if there's,
Okay, to prevent that happening again.
Yeah, 'cause
until we
Also,
can replace the
you know,
It's
switch.
dangerous.
it is dangerous because when you even hit a light switch, if you watch during the dark, you'll see a
Yeah,
spark in
there's
there.
gas
So
in the room.
I got a building full of gas, that
Yep.
could be a really problematic issue.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how long it was out because Joyce was there on Sunday, so it,
Yeah, they were gonna use that as the
The one
emergency shelter.
did you
We-
know?
No, we were there.
They did,
Yeah.
they
But it
did.
didn't smell at that point, so I don't know at what point when the pilots turned off, but the odor wasn't detected on Sunday, so sometime between Sunday and Tuesday
Hmm.
is when
Okay.
the issue occurred.
That sounds like a good plan though to prevent future problems.
And I think, in touching base with Andy, like he said, they're thinking about replacing them with electric stoves,
Yeah,
which I think.
yeah, I think
cap
it's a
off
great
the
idea.
lines and let
Just
the
until
generator
then.
be used generator, just for the
Yep.
gas.
I wonder if it'd be worthwhile before then to check with our alarm company, see if they make a gas sensor
Okay.
or gas detector.
Yeah, it depends on how quick they could replace those.
Right. You know, if it's gonna be a while, then it may be worthwhile.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because if it's gonna be a few months, we got a winter to go.
or have a gas shut off to the stoves and just
Shut
not
them off.
use.
So is it all?
Shut
Well,
it.
when we're gonna have a rental, somebody goes in and
Turns
lights
it
the
on.
pilot.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's not used all that frequently,
I mean, rarely.
right?
A few times a year.
It would save us gas, to do it that way, but then it would just have to be part of the prep for rentals.
Right.
It's worth discussing with Andy if that would work for them. Is it a pain in the butt to light the pilots? Probably not.
No, you just, once you know how to do it.
You just
you
gotta
have
know
to
where
do
they,
it.
yeah, where they are. Okay.
I think that's a rec commission conversation too.
So on that note, thanks to Joyce Kegel for setting up the emergency shelter on Christmas Day. However, she and I were there, we got to talking. Doesn't seem like there's a door knock list of maybe elderly or folks who may not have the capacity to just check in, who should be checked on in these extreme cases.
I think,
in the
So
town.
there is a CBRIC list. So the CBRIC list is anybody that would need assistance in the event of emergency.
So, what's the name of I was forgetting his name.
Rich.
Rich and Joyce just spoke, and that there was no discussion of this list. Joyce was concerned about making sure that we have the capability to go just check on elderly in particular in these circumstances. And the Seabrook list didn't come up. So I think we should probably just make sure everyone's aware that the list exists, where it is, and
Well,
how
the
we-
list is just people that would need assistance in an emergency, just because you're elderly, you would make the list.
No, yeah, I'm saying people who
We need help.
who we should check on in extreme circumstances when the power's out for 24 hours and it's below freezing.
I think the fire department maintains a separate list, and I think they do like those well-being calls,
Can we just
those check-ins, but I can check with Chief
make
Bird
sure that we
to
have
double
it,
check.
and if we don't have it, maybe we can action it through PD or FD or both?
I also spoke with Rick Murphy today about having a department meeting and going through checklist items that says, if this is an emergency, these are the people that need to be contacted. If this happens, because I think that there was a lot of circular conversations happening and multiple people getting contacted there was a lot of duplication of efforts with this last storm
So-
to try to mainstream.
Yeah, we
streamline that.
really, there are millions of different ways of handling it. When I was doing like DOD work and everyone's on call, right? I don't know, maybe it already exists for the police department, but we always have like a little card that we stick in our wallet and everyone's phone number, the call tree is on it.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we shouldn't just have one of those for emergency response. That's all I got.
Realistically, it should follow the CBRIC plan that emergency management would notify Karen and Karen would notify department heads and the board.
It's fine, but we should probably know, I mean, I didn't really know
The order.
the order of who to go to, and I didn't have any, I know I have people's phone numbers in my phone, but like, we don't have a specific, reaction plan or whatever, response plan that we are involved in.
Yeah, I think that at the time that it was posted on Facebook that there was gonna be a warming center is when, it raised a lot of questions about how do we normally handle these things, and I think I understand the point that logistically and practically speaking, I don't know, like from town to town, what they do, or whether they have a plan like that. It just so happened that it occurred on Christmas as well, so, yeah, I'm glad that Joyce stepped up, I'm glad Rick did what he did, but, yeah, like you said, there's duplication of effort and all that.
That's all I got.
Jen?
Yeah, two things. We, in our mail, we got, an update from the Energy and Efficiency Committee. They had a recent meeting, I think last week or the week before, and they are feeling that likely we will need to readjust our timeline and probably can't get our energy plan ready to rock for this year and may have to wait till next year. So they're kind of reassessing the timeline, and we always knew it was gonna be tight, and they may not feel comfortable with that timeline. So they're sort of starting to shift their view and think that they may shift that out a year. And so they'll give us sort of the official update when they've made the official decision, but it's sort of looking like it'll be stretched out over the next year, which will give a lot more time for like the public meetings and public education and things like that. So just an update there. And then another thing that I had on my mind was, we have town meeting coming up in March, and I wonder if we might start conversations about having some kind of childcare available. I think at least one year we had something. And so just, I don't know if we need permission from Swayze to use, additional rooms for childcare. And if there's some folks we could, start to put feelers out to. I think it will really help us get, some younger people and some people who, have kids, to come and participate in that process if we
Was it
have
the
some type of childcare.
Girl Scouts that did it?
At least one year we did. I think there was some Girl Scouts involved,
The
yeah.
Girl Scouts?
Yeah, so we got like 3 months to kind of start to put something together, so I'm happy to help with that, but thought that we should sort of get that idea rolling.
We can have Andy check in with his counselors too to see if any of them are interested, because they've
Yeah.
already been trained, background check.
Absolutely.
Awesome
Ready to
idea.
go.
That's true, because they're already kind of pre-cleared, right, and have CPR and everything.
Yep.
That'd be great. Just wanted to put that idea out there, and I think that was all I had.
So can you send something to the school board to see if we can have extra space?
Yes, when I do the building use form, I'll request extra space.
Did we hear back from the school board about our request to potentially move elections?
I have not yet. I think the only thing, I don't know that they'll be able to accommodate March because the school calendar's already been set,
Right,
so it'll just be going forward.
okay.
The only thing I have is BudCom on Thursday. We're gonna relook at the library budget. 6 PM start.
I was wondering if there's,
Thursday.
what's the date on Thursday?
The 5th?
2 days from today.
Fifth.
Yeah, so it's the first Thursday, so we have planning board?
Yes. So BudCom can meet in the
Bud-
other room.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, I think Steph Lewenden is, Steph here? Yeah, Steph Lewenden's here from Communications Committee to talk about website. That'd be good,
Talk about website?
yeah.
Sure, but it's not really agendized, but.
Oh, yeah, no, true, so that's fine, I figured, we had to maybe give a little guidance to COMCOM about,
The website?
yeah, just about the art of the possible.
The
Even-
art.
Yeah, so, funding.
Oh. Steph, do you wanna come talk about the website? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Russ is
So,
quick.
so here's the deal, they're gonna meet, next week? Next Thursday. So, I just want her to hear it firsthand, as far as potential funding for a new website and what possibilities.
So, whatever we have currently budgeted, Karen can shoot her a number of what we have.
For 22 or 23 money?
23 money.
It has to be 23.
Yeah,
Yeah.
23,
Yeah.
yeah, we're in 23.
We can encumber money if we already.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is there,
Well, if they
is it
can,
too late to encumber?
No,
What's the cutoff on
Well, yeah.
encumbrance?
technically, yes, because.
well, you just have to have, you would have had to have the contract.
Right.
Which we don't have
And
a
we-
contract, so.
So,
But you haven't voted to do all of your any of your encumbrances yet,
But we don't have a dated,
contract yet.
and we wouldn't unless it was post dated, so.
So we're in 23.
So
Yeah.
we're in impact fees or warrant article, depending on what you're looking at for scope and cost.
So I think that's the key, is to, so that she knows, and the committee knows what the time constraints might be in terms of coming up with a plan and a number,
Okay. So I can touch
so that we
bases.
don't end up, I mean, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I personally would like to see a new website as soon as possible.
When do they have to have a warrant article in there?
February 7th, so the communications committee would need to sort of get all of their ducks in a row for their next meeting on the 12th, because I don't think that they would meet again prior to the 7th deadline. Unless they had
Unless
They
they
can have an
emergency
extra
meeting
meeting.
or something.
they could post an extra meeting in January if they wanted to do that.
It all depends on what the cost is.
Yeah. Which I don't.
I mean, are you thinking, what's the general ballpark? I mean,
I don't know.
websites
Completely depends, yeah.
can be $500, websites can be,
Thousands.
Well, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
$500.
no, I'm exaggerating, obviously. but
Yeah,
They can be.
but I don't know the answer as far as the high end, so.
I mean, whatever they come back with is a user-friendly website. And that's what we're not looking for the Taj Mahal, we're just looking
Right.
for a user-friendly website.
Right, there's what Fremont and Danville have, and then there's what Exeter has. And like Fremont and Danville's pretty much just straightforward,
Super easy to use.
super easy, yeah. So,
I think that's what we're looking for, is a user-friendly.
right,
I think Fremont does it through Civic Plus, I think, if
Mhm.
I remember right. So maybe we could just get some pricing through.
so the
Just to see
issue,
what their
I think the,
platforms
part of
cost.
the issue is the communications committee did not meet in December. I don't know, how quickly, I don't know how much information is gonna, be available, but at least having some guidelines or some, information for them to make an informed decision on their side, and then give us some information to go on.
My vote is for user-friendly.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
User-friendly,
absolutely.
definitely. Steph, did you guys connect with Town Cloud? Is that what it's called?
No, I'm just getting back up and running
Okay,
my family situation.
yeah, because that was
We have some investigating.
potentially less expensive than what we're doing now. So, and if they were to come forward if it takes them a while to figure this out, and they were to come forward during the year, if it's less than our current budget, it's a non-issue. If it's a little bit more, then the board can try to figure out, if we have funds to make that happen. So if you can't make the deadline of February 7th, that is what it is, like, that's okay,
Do we
what
have
we
a
can.
contract for a current one or no?
We just have a contract for the support, so, I mean, just for them to help with them, but it's small dollars.
These organizations that do this professionally, it's gonna be templatized, and they're
So
gonna
it
be
all
like,
is, yeah,
would you like option A,
Yeah.
B, or C?
totally. They
And-
try to make it as
Yeah,
easy as possible. Click here to upload, like,
that's exactly
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's what you want.
So it's not gonna take them, it's not gonna take them.
No,
time
this
once
one
they get-
company said they can transfer you over in like a week.
Yeah.
Or something. So it may take you guys some time though to figure it out, so maybe the starting point is
Andy
just.
wants the bronze package.
He wants the easy, I mean, that's what the guy was telling you, right? If you can't find something online in 45 seconds, you give up. And like, I would agree with that.
Yep.
So right now.
Biggest button for when is trash pickup?
Right, yes.
Even
put
this
that on
week,
the
it's on the
header?
website and Facebook, no delays, and they still keep calling.
That's true.
Is my trash coming?
Good
Like,
point.
yes.
Well,
I would
trash
like
got
a
picked
header.
up late last week, like, my trash didn't get picked up till like 6 o'clock at night.
And actually on Deerville, they did one side the day that they were supposed to, and then you kept the other side until the next morning.
When they didn't do
There's always
Tuesday, they
gonna
didn't
be
finish
something.
Tuesday.
And I think it's because so many people
Did I
have
hijack
so
your
much.
conversation?
Yes, you did, you did. So Karen, maybe you can just give them the ballpark, current budget number, so they know at least what that is, and then
Yes.
we'll
We
just
can go
wait
with
to hear from them.
Deadlines
This
and
is all
timeframes.
gravy.
Sounds good?
Good.
Do you have anything else for us now that I hijacked your?
I don't think so. No,
You sure?
no, it's good, yeah, it's good. I think we got there.
You good, Steph?
Yeah, that's good.
Public comment, Carol, do you have anything?
Nope.
Letty speaking as not Letty, but as somebody else?
Letty Star Mill Road, speaking as a member of the budget committee, actually, our meeting starts at 6 and their meeting starts at 7, and our meeting is live streamed and their meeting is not. So, I think that the budget committee meeting should be in this room.
Let's do
I do not feel strongly about this.
Unless you want
Is
to
there
go live
enough,
stream
is there
and
enough
work.
room in the?
I am not the chair of the planning board. Yes, there'll be plenty.
Because you have 9 at your table, which will not.
We'll figure it out.
You
And
got a
members
pretty
of the
big
public. Do you have
table.
hearings Thursday?
We have,
That's a bigger table than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's set up as a T.
then there are extra chairs over there.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it
I'll
work.
talk to Jillian, we'll make it work.
How's it?
Any other public comment?
Melissa Litchfield, Eleanor's Way. Just a couple of things. In the past, I know for the town meeting and for the school meeting, we contacted the president of the parent faculty group, and oftentimes they would coordinate with the BTA in order to offer childcare. That was the first thing. And I know you reached out to the school, I just wanted to say that the calendar has been done, but March 8th, the school is closed already. Every school in the SAU is, so hopefully they should be able to accommodate you with no problem, especially in light of what had gone on with the last election. My next question is, in light of, I saw a lot of commentary over the past couple of days on Facebook about the actual Brentwood newsletter. I saw someone mention that it's actually going to move forward. And my question is, and I haven't been here to hear at the meeting, so I don't know. I heard rumors that a newsletter is still going to be funded in our budget. Are we removing that from the budget in light of the fact that the Brentwood newsletter will continue to move forward and we don't need to have those funds any longer in our town budget?
So the budget committee removed it from their version of the budget. We have left it into our version of the budget because we are gonna, couldn't make the agenda this week, but there will be a discussion on maybe tasking the communication commission with ideas on what we could do to go forward. So currently it's still in our budget and then we'll have to decide on how we proceed forward, but it has been removed from the budget committee number.
Or I think put down to 1, right?
Yes.
$1.
But so even though it's privately funded, are you still looking to the communication department to possibly do something simultaneous? I'm just trying to understand, like a second newsletter?
So the Brentwood Newsletter Incorporated is gonna publish their own newspaper. It's not gonna be a town funded, I don't know who's gonna, from the town, submit information or articles to that. Because that is no longer be the designated communication method of the departments of the town.
Unless they choose to.
Yes, by all means they can if they wish.
Thank you.
Carol, did you have a follow-up to that?
Is, because it was a warrant article.
Carol, just your name and.
Carol Belvo, Mill Road. Because it was a warrant article, how do you handle that?
It was a warrant article to fund until the end of '22, which we did.
Okay,
And then the other warrant article was to place the funds for the newsletter in the budget, which we did. We just decided not to use the Brentwood newsletter as the person that publishes the newsletter.
so you're just leaving the money in there?
Until we decide what we're gonna do.
Okay,
So the budget committee number is the number that goes to the voters, and it would be up to the selectmen to either make our budget the same or ask the voters in March to change, or go to the budget committee later if we decide how, the budget committee removed the number because we didn't have a plan on how to spend it. We have a plan on how to spend money, they may put it back in,
okay,
if that makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense.
And Melissa, you mentioned the school being closed on the 8th. The election's on the 14th.
Oh, sorry, whatever the election.
That election day, that they're already
I'm
planning to
sorry.
be closed?
I'm thinking, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
and only be, just
Yeah, it is teacher in service, you're right, okay.
Yeah, because I believe it's East Kingston, I believe it's the only school in the district at this point that holds their elections within the school, but they try to keep the SAU 16
Right.
calendar consistent, so therefore they shut down all schools. So, right, they'll have in service,
Okay,
but you're really just taking away their multi-purpose cafeteria.
right, okay, thanks.
Tracy Dakota Mill Road. When the communications committee was originally formed, I think it was me that asked the question specifically that if your intention was to have the communications committee take over the Brentwood newsletter or the writing, and the answer from the entire board of you was no.
My statement was that we're gonna ask them for recommendations on how we move forward, not ask them to do it.
Okay.
I don't think the communication wants anything to do with the newsletter
I just thought you
besides.
would like that.
The only thing we're tasking them with when we can talk about this legally is that we want recommendations on what we can do to move forward. Steph?
I'm the chairperson, my name is Stephanie, from Blackbird Lane, and I'm the chairperson for the communications committee, and we are not doing newsletter. Like, the Facebook stuff is crazy the last few days, and we're not doing newsletter. We're gonna figure out a way to move forward, but I personally don't have time for the newsletter, and our committee, we're just working on a different level of communication, so I don't want people to keep asking about it, it's not necessary.
Well, maybe I can help. And Jim Azure, I'm going to speak for the board of the Brentwood newsletter, not as myself. So maybe I can help clear up some of this. I'll just read this, and you don't have to take notes. I'll give you a copy. I'll give this to you. I'd like it into the minutes so that it's just officially read. Select board and town manager, there's a misconception that I wish to clarify. The Brentwood newsletter does not offer a service to the town administration. Note, we are residents and taxpayers of Brentwood, an ever-changing group of individuals who volunteer skills to perform different roles as we work together to bring you the news of what's going on around our town. Since the 1980s, the B&L has asked for and received a sum of our own tax dollars to cover printing, postage, and distribution of the newsletter to every household who wants a copy. I am pleased to say that despite being defunded by town leadership and currently not taxpayer funded, the Brentwood newsletter team will continue to deliver the iconic yellow pages directly to residents' mailboxes. We heard from so many who wanted to preserve the B&L coming to their homes that we decided to find a way to make it happen. We will maintain our mission to provide a vital communication tool and a platform for the voices of our residents. The B&L looks forward to continuing to share the news from the Selectboard and other town departments with our readers. Until a more stable funding solution can be found, the Brentwood newsletter will be seeking donations to cover the month-to-month cost of printing and postage. Anyone who would like to support the newsletter may send a check to the Brentwood Newsletter, 102 Middle Road. The newsletter remains open to all and invites you to share your activities and events. Through volunteering, we encourage you to join us in contributing to the well-being and strength of our community. We will continue to gather for community folding on a monthly basis. Your assistance is always welcome. Please let us know how you can help by emailing us at info@brentwoodnewsletter.org. Look for the January 2023 issue in your mailbox shortly. Respectfully, the Brentwood Newsletter. Thank you.
So, Jim, I don't know if I really want to start a debate on this, but that sounded more like an ad for the funding of the Brentwood newsletter than town business, so I'm not sure if that's really minute-worthy material.
Okay.
The first part, besides you get into facts of where to send donations and come help fold, I'm good with, but, I mean, that's up to the board.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
If you want to scratch that sentence out.
Okay.
I just want to bring up something as well that you said about the budget committee and why they took the money out, left $1 in. You said it was because we didn't have a plan. I know what you mean. But of course, it was 1 week, I think, not even, basically a week in between.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, we didn't have a plan in that week, and then we got hit with the holidays. to the extent we can get help from people in the communications committee to give us some ideas on how we might proceed, we didn't have that option. And additionally, I guess I have a question. So on the budget committee, Michelle Seward, is she part of the Brentwood newsletter team? Do we know?
She's one of the board members.
Huh?
In order for it to be a conflict, she would have to have a vested interest, and she doesn't.
Okay, from an optics standpoint, right, when the newsletter is in here advertising for donations, and then we have someone on the board, the budget committee, voting in favor of taking the money out, essentially making it so that the town won't have the ability to create or distribute a newsletter, is my point. So, from an optics standpoint, we get an awful lot of discussion in this room about conflict of interest. It's that term is thrown around a lot, and the times I've heard it, it's every bit as legitimate in this situation. But I just wanted to point that out.
Lois DeYoung, Crawley Falls Road. Russ, the budget committee works as a committee. We do what we do, our diligence, we know what we're doing, what we do. And the line item had $17,500, whatever it is, dollars. That would not do anything to start a new newsletter. That is only postage and only paper. So for me, that $17,000 is not going to change one iota of getting a whole new newsletter together and getting someone to write it and whatever. It is and that's why they left the dollar in. The day comes when you have a newsletter and you have something planned, then you put that in the budget, and not before, because you don't do what ifs on budgets.
Yeah, you've made that statement about 4 times that I've heard. So you've
Well,
been,
it's 'cause it's the truth.
Well, you've been advocating for that quite a while, that 17,000 wasn't enough.
Not say it was not, I said that was.
All right, we don't need a back and forth.
It's $17,520 some dollars. That's what's in that line item.
Mhm.
Was in the budget committee line item, it is no longer.
Any other comments? You are spoken. You used your 2 questions.
I did? What if I didn't take up 3 minutes? What if I whispered?
Bob said it at 2 minutes
I said
tonight.
it in 2 minutes because I was hoping to be quick.
Was it, did I talk 3 minutes?
I
Oh,
have no clue.
If it's quick,
I didn't time it.
you probably read it.
I'm sure I will.
Melissa Litchfield, Eleanor's Way, because I had made a conscious decision not to discuss this, to be honest with you, but in light of what was just brought up, I feel the need to. We're discussing the optics here of the newsletter, and I have some concerns here because I have copies of meetings that were put out there to not necessarily move forward with the newsletter, or to, let's say, for lack of a better word, bring harm to the newsletter. Not let it go forward as it is. And on this Zoom call, I've got the chair of the Democratic Party, who's now a state rep. I've got 2 select board members. I've got 2 school board members, along with several other people that are here in town. So I just want to say, I don't know that it's fair that we're going after the budget committee person who's done her best to be neutral when we've got a lot of hands in here that are very questionable right now.
I'm confused at what meeting you're talking about, Melissa. It wasn't a select board meeting.
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't a select board. It was actually put forth by the Democratic Committee, and it included select board members and a couple of school board members,
Are you looking,
along with
are you
others.
talking about me?
Your name is on the list, yes. But I don't want to do
Right.
it back and
We're
forth.
not having a-
I
we're not
don't
having a-
understand.
Okay, I've never been on a Zoom meeting with any of those people, so.
Okay.
Jim has nothing to do with the newsletter. Mohawk Lane, the mail, I know, like, is there a way the town manager and this board would be willing to craft a letter to the Exeter Post Office, our congressmen, our senators, about the issue with mail delivery in town? Like, I know I own mail because it's been so bad, and I kind of mentioned it to them, but I feel bad because the guy who works there's like, look, it's not, we're trying to hire somebody, we can't get people, da da da, right? So, I know Laura sent a letter to the congressmen and our senators, and like one of them responded back with like, oh, blame Trump or something. Like, it just didn't get far. I just wonder if maybe if it came officially from the town, like Tom Henry and you signing it, to somebody saying like, we're not getting mail delivered daily, let alone on a regular basis. It's really
I
bad.
think we addressed it, and I know I brought it up in August. And I thought we discussed it, and I even actually posted up the hiring poster that they had.
Yeah, I know.
And that
They don't get
was,
benefits, so like,
Yeah.
she wasn't gonna go take the
and,
job.
and I know that they had in August, there was 2 people that are delivery people, whatever, postal carriers, in town that were on vacation at the same time. So that created a backlog. And I've seen them driving around at like 10 o'clock at night delivering mail. I just know they're extremely short-staffed,
Right.
and yeah, I agree, it's, you know,
Well, why
I'm
is it
getting
so
some
much?
Christmas, I got a Christmas present today
Right.
that wasn't, you know, it didn't show up for Christmas, but it showed up today.
I
was
wonder,
psyched.
I know Eric, you've been posting about this on social media.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, it's not necessarily select board business, but, you know, I was contacted by multiple people as state rep. Contacted the Secretary of State's office, they contacted the leadership in Boston of the Postal Service, put me in touch with the Regional Communications Director for Northern New England. That was before the week between Christmas and New Year. I'm assuming he was out because he sort of was communicative and then went silent. I did speak to Congressman Pappas' office this morning. They sent me some info on how individuals can escalate issues, as well as saying that they'll forward it to the relevant committees in the U.S. House. I think it's oversight that takes care of the Postal Service. So there's kind of 2 things going on. There's the short-term crisis, and I did find out that Exeter is considered one of the really bright hot spots. But according to Pappas' office and according to, you know, the Postal Service people, obviously, probably, you could guess this is not unique. It's happening all across the region. It's a whole bunch of factors coming together. So I was hoping at some point to get some sort of a plan about what, you know, because the longer term problem is what are, you know, okay, we all know there's a crisis right now. You can't invent postal workers overnight, but, you know, the idea being these problems kind of come from, you know, policies that have been in place and will go forward. So I'm trying to basically make sure people understand how severe the problems in roads are. You know, we have routes that have been undelivered for about 2 weeks at a time. There are people who've been told to go to the post office and find 2-hour waits at the post office. You know, I talked to my own mail carrier who said he's working 6 12-hour shifts a week. So it's not the frontline people that are the cause of the problem. So in the short term, I'm hoping maybe they can shift some more resources our way. In the longer term, I think they need to do things like maybe what Bobby mentioned, or I don't know who just mentioned that, you know, they have to do sort of maybe what we've talked about in here about, you know, becoming more competitive with the other industries. But that's probably further away. So I'll keep, actually, post to that thing tonight, and I'll keep trying to raise it. It's obviously not within a state rep, you know, purview in any direct way. I'd be happy to talk to anyone, because I'll just keep kicking those ideas up to the people who hopefully can do something.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I was just asking because like, it's a town-wide thing, you know, it's not just me or my street, it's all of us, and that's why I thought to bring it up here. But thank you for that.
And it's not just Exeter, because there's other
Right.
towns that just can't find help. And
Yeah.
but I think we're the worst. I've never heard of anybody outside of Brentwood not getting mail for 2 weeks.
And they said our whole rural route that covers Exeter and everything around it is at 50% in staffing at this point, so that's probably about as bad as you can get. So.
Thank you.
And I've always had great service at Kingston, just saying.
Lucky.
Well, no, my mail carrier has actually been very good and I get my mail, but anything I ship out, I go to Kingston and. Any other comments? I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.